So the first card you have, you passed, is the Two of Cups. Absolutely beautiful card. I love this card. So yeah, a lot of people see this as romantic love, and it is a lot of the time. But it's not just about that. It's not just about, oh, I'm in love and that feeling and all that. It's a lot deeper than that. This is about connecting really, really deeply on a very deep level, on a very spiritual level, also a very deep intellectual level. This is about communication. And, if you look at this caduceus in the middle of these two cups, that's what that's about. It's connecting the two. It looks like DNA to me as well sometimes. So whoever this is that you are thinking about or wanting or connecting with, it was a super, super, super deep connection. And there's still a connection there. I'm really feeling that's very, very strong. But if you look at this couple, they're not quite connected yet. They want to be together. This man has red roses around his head, so that's about manifestation. So he wants to manifest closeness with the woman. The woman has a laurel wreath around her head, so she's hoping for victory. She's thinking about victory. And so that shows me that either you haven't been able to connect in the way you want to, or you're just not together right now, or you weren't at this time. So, and also, there's a house. The other thing is there's a house in this card as well, and houses can represent relationships, a happy home, a union, all that kind of thing. But the thing about this house is it's far away from this couple. So I think you're either in a long distance situation, relationship with someone, or you're not able to be together yet for some reason. That's what I keep on seeing there. Everything's showing me that. And you've got this DNA between you though, so there's a really strong connection there. And I think I'm seeing a similar thing in your last reading, actually, a really deep connection that hasn't really come to its full potential yet. So I think, just from memory, that was what it was in your last reading. And so if that's the case, if I'm getting it twice, then it's super strong as well, because it keeps on coming up again and again. So, I think you've got a bit of history with this person as well. Maybe you've been a little bit on and off with them in the past, on again, off again. And yeah, I'm seeing other relationships as well between now and back when you were last with them. Maybe it was you, maybe it was them, maybe both of you had relationships in between. But yeah, I'm getting this really, really strongly. I keep on getting this. No other connections have been as deep for you or for them, I think, as the connection between you. That's what I'm getting there. And yeah, again, I don't think you're around them right now. I don't think that. I'm getting that really strongly. There's some kind of physical distance between you. That's what I'm getting in that card. Okay, so the next card you have, you pass the Nine of Wands. Okay, this is showing me protection. That's the feeling I'm getting here. Protection. Self-protection. Self-protection. Look at this man. He's kind of protecting himself. So, yeah, you might have maybe had a bit of opposition to this love connection. Maybe you've got, family or friends around you telling you to forget about them, or maybe you did at this time. When you've been in a backwards and forwards situation with someone, sometimes people only see the negatives. And sometimes people can get annoyed, that you go back to someone over and over again. I don't know if that happened, but that might be what's happening. There's a lot of negativity in what people are saying. I'm not saying there haven't been any negatives or problems between you. Of course there have. But I think maybe in your past, maybe you've just been a little bit too vocal about your problems and things that were happening in your life to the people around you. Because I think you're a bit more of an open book in your past. And yeah, you probably accidentally opened yourself up a bit too much to a lot of people around you. Because I'm seeing a lot of comments, criticism, questions, and you're not on a screen. Your life's not a reality TV show for everyone to watch and make comments on. And, some people have good intentions. There are some people around you who really do care about you. They really do. But what I'm seeing here is, instead of trying to lean on some of these people, like this man who's leaning on this wand, and I think you did that in the past, I think now you've just decided to put a few barriers up. It feels like you just wanted to get some space in your head to just think about what you want. And you know your own mind. You know your own mind. You're intelligent, you're headstrong, but you need to have a clear head to know your own mind. And I think a lot of these different opinions and all these things that people were saying, they were clouding your head, and so you couldn't quite see what your own mind was because you had all these people talking. The thing is, you know how you feel. You know how you feel. Yeah, but there were a lot of things that needed sorting out in your life at this time, and I think you just needed to sort things out on your own without any interference. If you're in a long-distance relationship, you might not be, but I'm seeing that as a possibility here. A lot of people can be really critical of long-distance relationships. You hear a lot of this, oh, that's not a real relationship. Well, that's up to the individual. It doesn't work for some people, but it does for others. And you know what works for you. So this is all about you finding yourself, finding your own mind, away from all the clutter of everyone talking and criticizing and whatever. Being by yourself and finding out what you truly want and need. So that's what I'm seeing again in that card. Okay, so the last card you have, you passed, is the High Priestess. Yeah, this was in your last reading as well. I remember this. I remember this card. Okay, I keep on seeing protection here and barriers. There's a big barrier that you're putting around yourself, and it's still there. You've still got this barrier there. I keep on getting this really strong feeling of you just wanting to get yourself together without an audience, by yourself. Get yourself together, think about what you need by yourself. The High Priestess is obviously, she's really serene. She's untouchable. She's above everything. She's spiritually grounded, all of that. She knows who she is. And that's what you're heading towards internally. That feeling of, I know myself. I know who I am. And, if people try to get to me, if they try and influence me, I'm above that. I'm above that. I'm staying above that. That's where you're trying to get to. And yeah, there's definitely someone who wants to have an influence over you, a big influence actually. I'm seeing family here. I'm seeing an older woman. So you might have a bit of conflict coming up between you and this person, this woman, if you haven't already. Because this new serene you that rises up above things, someone's not going to like that new you. They're not going to like that. So if this is a parent, because I'm seeing family and I'm seeing this older relative, it doesn't have to be a parent, but it feels like someone who has that kind of role in your life. So it's someone like that, I think. Okay, I'm just looking at this moon at the bottom of this card, this High Priestess's dress. And I'm just going to lift it up so you can see. So there's a crescent moon there. And her dress looks a bit like water to me as well, waves on the water. And when the moon's above the water, it makes a reflection. So I think this parent or this relative, they've got this idea that what you do reflects on them. And yeah, I think this is a problem you might have had with them all through your life, really, or at least for a long time. It's like, oh, don't do that. That reflects badly on me. Don't do that. Study that. Do the right thing. Do this. Do that. Look like this. Act like this. Because if you act like this in the way I want, it reflects on me. So that's the idea they have, I think. And, this card feels really powerful to me. It feels like you're coming out of all that. And I think these boundaries that you're putting up around yourself, they're going to give you a whole new sense of power. This is you. This is you taking your power back from that person and taking your identity back. Because it feels like this relative sees your identities, theirs and yours, as one. That's what I'm seeing. And you've got your own identity. You've got a really strong identity. And that's going to start radiating out of you now. As, when you reinforce all these boundaries and you make sure they're all in place and they stay there, that's when your sense of identity is going to feel even stronger, because you won't have all this interference around you. So I hope that makes sense. I'm getting quite animated. I'm getting quite into this. This is a really, really very interesting reading. So many mixed up cards here, but it's very, very interesting. Okay, so the first card you have, your presence, Temperance. Another fantastic card. I love this card. So this is about rising up, rising up. So it's more than that, actually. It's about having the knowledge, having the tools to be able to work out how to rise up, how to do that by yourself and for yourself. And that's exactly what you're doing. So you're protecting yourself, you're protecting your mind, you're protecting your goals, and that's how you're going to find the knowledge and the tools to rise up. You know, because you need to protect your mind and everything else to be able to do that by yourself. And yeah, this is the year. This is the year when you do this, when you rise up out of what everyone else thinks you should do and tells you to do. You're rising out of that into you, into you. And yeah, okay, this might be a little bit abstract, but I'm going to say this. I'm getting this feeling of taking your time and just taking the time to explore yourself, your inner feelings, your inner self, all of that. And I don't think you've had a chance to do that for a while. You know, you've had all these people talking and noise, people's opinions in your head and all that. And you've been really busy in your work as well. I'm seeing that as well. So it feels like you haven't had much time to think or even breathe, actually. So now you're going to be exploring your inner feelings and spirituality, all that as well. Look at this angel's feet. They're bare feet. They're bare feet. And when you've got bare feet and they're on the rocks and they're in the water like this angel, you can really feel what's under your feet. You can explore all the rocks, every little bit of the rock, all the textures, everything of the rocks and the water and the temperatures and everything like that, like the temperance cards, feeling the temperature of the water. So that's what you're going to be doing, really exploring, really feeling your true self. Now, some of the feelings that are going to come up, they're not going to feel all that good. I've got to tell you, that's the truth. And so, because when you're going through a process like this, good, bad, all sorts of feelings come up. And that's the only way you can move forward and get back in touch with your true self. Because all these are all true feelings, whether they're good and bad. They're true feelings. Purity, honesty. Look at the dress that this angel's wearing, a white dress, purity, honesty. And if you look to the left of this angel, there's this winding path going up a hill, and it's leading up to the sun, and it looks a little bit like a halo as well. Because if you think about the hanged man, which isn't here obviously, he has this halo around his head. So that's a halo. So that's what you're going into. You're going into the sun, the halo, your spiritual self. Okay, I'm just seeing this as well. This is just coming up now. Everything you've been through in your past, and you've been through a lot, and everything you're going through now, you'll take this, you'll take what you've learned, and you'll be able to help other people and teach other people. And I think that's what your true purpose is. That's what it is. That's where you're going. You're heading toward your true purpose. You're manifesting your true purpose. Very, very exciting. Very beautiful. If this is resonating, I know it's a little bit abstract, but this is a really important time in your life. This is a really important year for you. A really big year for you. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, right. So the next card you have, your present, is the Lovely Tower. No one likes this card, but, well, some people like this card. Anyway, it's not so bad, I don't think, but for you anyway. Okay, so there are a few different things here. The first thing is, with the spiritual process, as you start to grow, as you start to change internally and all that, what usually happens is, and this is going to happen to you, I think, because you've got this card here, a lot of things that are in your atmosphere, in your energy, people, things, all of that, especially people, some of the people who are around you now, there's no nice way to put this. They're going to have to go. You're going to have to let some of these people go. And you're probably going to hurt some people in the process. But this is something that needs to happen. That's what this Tower is about. It has to happen. So you're growing out of your old self. That's what's happening here. Now, this tower's collapsing because it's not built on proper foundations. It's on a hill, which is a really ridiculous place to build a tower, obviously. And the strange thing is, there's nowhere to go outside of this tower. There's no door at the bottom. You know, if there was a door, and you know, if there was a door there, where do you walk? Where can you go? Have a look at that. It's really, really strange, very strange. So I think you've had, and I was seeing a bit of this in the Nine of Wands actually, you've had some people around you who've been restricting you. They don't want to let you walk outside the confines of this tower. They want to keep you inside the tower. You want to grow, you want to expand, but you can't do that if you're stuck inside someone else's mental image of who they think you are. You can't be stuck inside someone else's tower. That's what I'm getting here. And again, this tower doesn't have any doors. There are no outside spaces, so you're kind of trapped. So as you expand, I think it'll probably be more and more obvious to you who these people are that you have to let go of. And you're just not going to want them in your life. I know that sounds harsh, but you're not going to want anyone holding you back as you move forward. So it's a sad part of this expansion, I know, but it's a necessary part. Okay, so another little thing, just a very small thing I'm seeing in this tower. There's a little message here. It's going to come in, probably a text message. And it feels like an accusation to me. So I think when you read this message, there'll be anger. I'm getting that. I'm seeing anger. But if this is you, if you get this message, don't react right away. Think really carefully before you do anything. Because I think if you leave it alone and then you come back later on and you read it again, you'll be able to see this message in a whole new light. You know, I think you'll misunderstand this, or you might misunderstand the tone of this when you read this. You know, I just don't want you to react to something that's going to cause a Tower moment between you and someone else. So if you jump in and react with all your defensiveness and say this and that, you're going to cause that between you and someone else. So just hold back. Don't say anything. Sit on this message. Not literally. Okay, the last card you have, your presence, the Seven of Cups. Yeah. I think you're coming into a time coming up this week, where you might just have to be a bit careful of the way you react to a lot of things. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of misunderstandings here, actually. I wouldn't make any big decisions over this next week if you can help it, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of misreading of things, a lot of confusion. I think probably by the week after this, you should be fine. You know, you should have a lot more clarity by then. But yeah, just lay low for a while, especially over the next few days. And with what I was seeing in the Tower, again, try not to react quickly. If you're not sure about something, just leave it over the next few days, even over the next week. But don't stress about this. It's okay. Just hold off on any big decisions for now. That's what I'm seeing there. Just be careful of that. Just lay low. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, the first card you have. Okay, look at this already. I can see this. The Ten of Cups, right. Right. Look at all these three cards. Look at this. Look at these. So if there's any doubt that you're going to end up with this person who's in your heart, this person I was seeing in the Two of Cups, they're in your heart. If there's any doubt, yeah, there's no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt. You're going to get together with this person. You are going to get together with this person who's in your heart. The Two of Cups was the promise of this, of what's here in your future. And yeah, this is exactly what I'm seeing. You know your own heart. You know yourself. And that's why you had to get all these people out of your head. All these three cards. And I'm going to talk about all of them together. And I never say this with this much conviction. I've never seen this. I've never seen this as clearly as I'm seeing this here. You're going to be with this person who's in your heart. You're going to be with them. Okay, I'm just looking at this rainbow, first of all. on the Ten of Cups. And rainbows to me mean inclusion. That's what they mean, inclusion. All the colours of the rainbow, every kind of person, all together blending in and making this beautiful rainbow. So it's inclusion. And you've had all these people trying to exclude this person, exclude this relationship. And you knew deep down that what they were saying wasn't right and that you were. Now, the other thing in this Ten of Cups is there's still a barrier there. There's still a barrier between, to you being together properly as a couple. Because if you look at this couple, they're outside of this scene. There's a barrier that's between them and the house and all that. So you've still got a lot of roads, a lot of barriers that you need to cross to get to where you want to be with this person. And I think you know that, because I keep on seeing distance and a lot of opposition as well. But you're going to take action on this. Either you are or they are. But the communication's going to start and some kind of action's going to start. The Ace of Wands is pure action, and you've got that here as well. And it's pure passion. So if there's passion there, this is amazing for this relationship. And what the Sun card's telling me is that you're eventually going to break through the barriers. Look at this child on this card. He's broken through the wall. He's broken through this wall and he's come out the other side. So this sequence of cards says absolutely everything. There's nothing else I really have to say about this. And I never, ever, ever get this combination. This is the first time I've ever seen this combination ever, especially in the future. But I've never seen it ever, anywhere. So if you've ever said to yourself, which is what I'm getting all over this card, all over this reading, I should say. If you've ever said to yourself, people don't think this is going to work, but I do. I know it's going to work. If that's what you're thinking, with everything I'm seeing here, you're right. You're right. You're going to get together. You are going to get together with this person. Absolutely beautiful. This is the most amazing reading I've probably ever seen, ever.